Hi, Shalin. How are you?
Hi, Sister Swati. How are you doing? Hello, hi.
I'm good, dear. How are you?
All well, surviving.
Thanks for accepting our request and being with us at this time.
It's an honor. It's a pleasure to be here, rather.
Uh, Thank you so much. And we are also excited and so hope it will be with the viewers.
Yes. I'm so glad you guys called me. Being an alumni, it's such a pleasure to be here.
All for you.
Thank you.
So, first, I really want to know about your journey. So, you are an actor,
um,
and we are really proud of you. So, tell
Thank you so
about
much,
your.
you guys. Thank you. I mean, it's an honor for myself as well to be um, a part of the Carmel alumni, and I'm super happy to be here, rather, more than anything.
Please share.
So, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't hear you properly.
I'm saying, please share your journey of becoming an actor and a film.
My journey. So I'm going to be very candid.
Okay.
My journey has been. I don't know. It's been a roller coaster. To be very honest, even though school has been just a few years back, it still feels like another lifetime altogether. And I mean, there were so many things in my journey so far. I mean, after school, I went to my college, and then college is where, to be honest, I sort of realized, that I can be more than an engineer. I mean, I'd like to pursue my education, of course, but again, I'd like to also, want to be something more than it. I mean, I just want to try new things, and that's how I got into it. I always had a knack for drama, of course, and to be very honest, I think Kamal played a very big role in in a person like me to be very stage confident. I think because I was so stage confident is why I was also not nervous around the camera, etc. Because we had these extempore speeches and debate competitions and whatnot, and I was also a part of the cabinet member of Kamal back in the day. So I think that one thing sort of helped us so much because it wasn't that a particular set of students would only go. Everybody used to get their turns and everybody had to go. So, I mean, even if you have stage fright, you'll eventually go and, face it and overcome it. So, I mean, because, I was going through a lot of things that kind of mold you because, to be very honest, once you reach a certain point, you sort of, everything becomes a blur, everything becomes like a circle. But this one has been so impactful, I would say. So when I went to my college, of course, because of the whole background, etc., it was difficult for me to have to be there. I was very stage confident and all, and I mean, from there I practiced and I worked really hard, and I won the title of Femina Miss India Tamil Nadu, and then I worked really hard for my film. So it's been a super eventful journey. I mean, I can't really describe it in one word.
Yeah, but can you share something like how were your school days? You were a Carmelite, so once a Carmelite, always a.
My, sorry, come again.
I'm saying once a Carmelite, always a Carmelite.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Once a Carmelite, always a Carmelite. My school days have been, wow. It feels like, as I said, it feels like a different lifetime altogether. But I think they've been the most important building blocks of my life. And uh, even though, to be very honest, I sort of discovered this other part of me in college because, that's when you're all grown up, you're above 18. But there are so many things that I learned in school. I mean, as I said, the stage fright thing, and then again, I see a lot. I've met so many people. When you go out, you sort of meet so many people outside, and I sort of realized that our school not only emphasizes on your education but also on your moral education. And even though people can make fun of it or crib about it while you're in school or however it goes, I mean, but it's so important. Like there are so many stories in my head. There was Sister Beena. Oh my God, I love her so much. And Sister Maria Lina, and they would tell us about these stories. Sister Susan back in my time, and
Okay.
they told us about these such beautiful moral stories, and I can actually share two of them. That still have this big impact in my life. You know, I belong to an industry where there are a lot of gray areas, and it's a fact, everybody knows it. But to stay on the right path uh, is something that you make a choice for yourself. Now, I remember there was the story back in the day. Sister Beena told us the story,
Okay.
and it was about your conscious. So she said that your conscious is like a triangle. If you ever do something wrong, it'll rotate really fast. So the sharp edges will hurt you, and you'll know you're doing wrong. But if you keep doing the wrong thing over and over again, the triangle edges would become blunt, and then you won't be able to differentiate between right and wrong. So this particular story of mine is still with me. I mean, I was what? I was in what? I don't know, first standard, second standard when I heard the story, but it still has had so much of impact on me till today. And then there was this another story where Sister Susan told us about there was a man who got shipwrecked, and I don't know if you guys have heard the story, but stories like that story sort of taught me to find silver lining in every situation.
Yeah.
So there are so many things. I mean, being a Carmelite itself is such a holistic experience. And talking about my school days, I mean, we had the warmth of the sisters and the affection of the sisters, and we did have some tough love as well. So I remember we had Anita ma'am and Harpreet ma'am, Priyadarshini ma'am, Mamta ma'am, and Badal ma'am, Beloria ma'am. I mean, it's unfair to sort of just take names, but all of these people have had huge impact in life. I remember Anita ma'am being so blunt. I mean, she sort of prepared the girls to freaking go into the world and fight for your right and be strong enough to sort of stand for what you believe in. And I think Carmel itself, I'm not promoting anything. It's just too honest. Everything's just coming out from my heart. Carmel itself is such a holistic experience of, especially when you're growing up. Education is important, and education I think you can get anywhere, even if you're sitting home, even if you're homeschooled. But there are certain set of values and certain set of confidence building blocks that I think played a major role in building me up. I think, yeah.
That's what we actually focus on, the overall growth. And
Absolutely, I think 100%.
we always believe. So how did you cope up with everything that came your way while you were growing up?
Cope up with everything, as in something in specific you would want me to answer?
Because your this line, it contains a lot of stress, and you were an engineer. So how did you when did you change your line? So like there might be many thoughts, too much thoughts about it, and
Right. I mean, there have been so many phases of my life when I've been double-minded about so many things because, as I said, this industry is very fickle. But again, it all boils down to how passionate you are about something. And I am extensively all in passionate about cinema and being a part of it and performing in front of the camera. So I think that is one thing that keeps you going. Your dedication and passion towards something so strong that it is above you yourself. So when I say this, it sounds very cliche, but please know when I'm saying that it is above you yourself. That means you have to come out of your comfort zone to achieve sort of what you want to. Staying away from my parents for so long is not something that I would call being comfortable. And so many other things. I mean, doing the course by myself to save money, etc. Whatever. I mean, too many things to talk about. But I think the most important thing here was to sort of move out of my comfort zone.
yes, exactly.
Now, back in the college, I remember I was literally managing everything. So I think that would be my time management. I mean, going to the college, coming back, going to the gym, coming back, and then going to the city because city used to be an hour away from my place. So going there, giving auditions, working, whatever in the tiny time in that I had, and then coming back home. Now this is something I wouldn't advise the students, but because I was in college and because I didn't have enough time to manage also. I mean, I did juggle. I sort of compromised on my health, which is not healthy, of course. One should not do it. I mean, I would stay sleep deprived or, um, I'm sorry, your video is. Wow, so many people. Hi. This is amazing. So much of love, you guys. Thank you. It's beautiful to see you all here.
Sharlin, can you
Yeah,
hear
can you
me?
hear me now? Yes, I think the Carmel page is lagging a little bit, but we're trying. Hi, can you hear me now? Okay, yeah. So
Sharlin, can you throw some
as I was saying, so compromised on my health on that
light?
sector and my sleep on that sector to sort of make space for both the things. And that's how it worked out for me, to be very honest.
Okay. So we are already
Yeah.
getting questions on how to, tackle stress with exercise since you are a fitness enthusiast. So can you share something with
Yes.
your students and everybody who's live?
Um, to be honest, I thought of this question. I thought about this question, and I think as an adult, as a 23-year-old, and as a kid, stresses are of different kinds and of different levels, and
Yes.
to sort of vent them out, we have different ways. If I am too stressed, I prefer stretching and breathing.
Okay.
Breathing in a particular rhythm, and also stretching, like when you stretch, I think that's also a relief. um,
Okay.
and I don't know how as a kid you'd want to relieve the stress because there's so much of sugar rush in your body. I mean, I remember I used to be running up and down back when I was a child. So as a child, I would suggest that you can always, channelize your extra energy and the stress that you're getting into something that you really like. And I think we also underestimate the stress teachers and students and parents, all three of them are going together, in this whole pandemic situation. We just, um, underestimating this whole situation. But I think everybody is doing their part, and as long as we understand each other's situation, it'll be less stressful. I think here, instead of managing it by ourselves, we have to sort of depend on each other to, let it come down. Because instead of making somebody or punching back, I'm sorry, my cat is here. Hi guys. Yeah,
Cat is
so I mean, instead of thinking that, I take care of everything and manage important for us, and rather impair, it is going to be an effort that we all have to take together. Uh, and expecting a lot more from parents and teachers, to be very honest, because they both have to sort of come on the same page. With respect to exercise, of course, stretching and breathing helps, and also yoga helps a lot because when you have a lot of stress, you sort of become more aggressive and stubborn and frustrated about it. So yoga sort of calms you down, meditation calms you down. But as a child, if you don't have that sort of concentration to do that, you can always. I remember back in school, they used to teach us some exercises, no, hands up, down,
yes,
right,
yes.
left, all that. You can do that. I mean, if you're tired, if you're doing some physical exercise, eventually you will not have energy enough to stress too much. I think that's also one thing to sort of vent it all out. I think that should help.
Yes. So what is the best time to exercise? Some are morning person and some are night owls. So what is the best time to exercise?
See, to be honest, I can't really comment on the evening part because I personally prefer morning hours. I think evening you've already eaten so
Yes.
much, and your digestive tract is already working. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of evening workout, but I can definitely talk about morning workout because that's what even I prefer. I am an early riser, and
Okay.
I'd like this. I like to share this with all Carmel students out here that how imperative and important it is for you to wake up in the morning. I mean, you have no clue how much you can achieve in life if you actually just wake up in the morning, do nothing about it, but just think
Okay.
of new ideas.
Hmm.
Um, my career took a very different turn when I started waking up too, and I started up very recently. Recently, as in 2 3 years back. You know,
Okay.
uh, I'll tell you why. Waking up early, sort of. First of all, you're getting the morning light, the
Okay.
calmness, and all of that you're getting.
Hmm.
But also, when you're waking up, I feel that in today's time we sort of just wake up, and then because we don't have time to do a lot of things, we'll quickly brush our teeth, quickly take a shower, quickly eat breakfast, and then quickly leave for the work or your school or for studies or
Yes.
whatever. And then everything is in a hurry. So your
Yes.
brain just knows what to do. It doesn't take time to process and plan. I think
Yes.
processing and planning are the two major things that can only happen
Hmm.
when you're waking up early. And that
Hmm.
I realized after a long time in life. But I'm glad I'm able to share this with everybody. And as boring as it sounds, but it's so important for you to plan and process. And if you're like, I'm just a kid, I know that I have to study science and maths tomorrow, and there's nothing to really plan about, then why should I wake up early? Because I was sort of contradicting my statements also with a 14-year-old Charlotte. But I think why it is important for you to wake up and plan is that you will find new ideas, you will discover new things about yourself that you didn't realize you have, you know? And even if everything's planned for the next day, try creating more work for yourself. Like
Yes.
what I do is you can start off,
Hmm.
this is how I started as well. You wake up in the morning, okay, you have water or
Hmm.
lemon water. I think that's very important right now for us to boost our immunity. You drink that, and then you open your notebook, what you keep, and, and you write three things. Three things work related and three things personal. Work can be, I'll read this book today, or, I'll read one chapter of this thing today, and I will draw this thing today. And
Sort
only
of a
three
to-do
activities.
list. Yeah.
Yeah, to-do list of work and to-do list personal. Personal can be I'll help mama do laundry today, or I'll help mama in the kitchen today, or
Hmm.
I'll pray with my dad today in the temple. It can be as tiny as that, or I'll call up my nani today, you know.
Yeah.
And this thing will sort of train your brain to
Exactly.
put you in a schedule. It'll train you yourself training yourself, and to do that at a young age like this is it'll make a huge difference in your life. I think all entrepreneurs and all big businessmen, there's one thing that's common in everybody is that they wake up early, and I think it's the biggest boon you'll do. I mean, you see changes yourself. And for people who are like, it's difficult to wake up early. How do you wake up early every morning? Isn't it tough for you? Like, I just want my pillow and blankie. Who doesn't? Everybody wants their pillow and blankie, okay? But I wouldn't say it's not tough. It's tough. Every day you have to push yourself. But every day does get a little easier also. Every day you sort of put yourself in a habit. So first day, but you'll be like, oh, I can't do it, and then second day you'll sort of manage, and I wouldn't say by 1 week you will be like, I'm a pro in waking up early. That's not going to happen. It'll still be
Yes.
difficult. You'll still have to push yourself out in the morning every day, but it'll only get easier if you do it every day.
So
You
that's
know,
what I came up with the question that people, they procrastinate a lot. So how to overcome that?
right? I think procrastination has a big relation to priorities in life. You know, um, you procrastinate tasks that you think are not important for you. It's important. It's really imperative rather for us to understand what is our priority and what is not our priority. And as children, our priority is to eat jam and watch Powerpuff Girls. So you can't you can't expect a 10-year-old to not procrastinate in life. I mean, he's a kid after all. We have to understand that factor as well.
Yeah.
Um, But I mean, as long as you have a balance in procrastination as well. Procrastination is human. Every human procrastinates. And we're not living in an ideal world after all. So if you think you have a problem of procrastination, or you sort of leave your work the next day, etc., you can always prioritize what is important for you. And in work sector and in play sector, like, I would say, balance the stuff. Like, you want to play Ludo also, and you want to watch Powerpuff Girls also, but you have your science and maths project left, right? So you finish up your science project and you watch Powerpuff Girls. Then you still finish up your maths project and you play Ludo. So that way you sort of have like a work-play balance. I think that will help you in procrastination, because um, at that tender age, it's difficult to realize what should be your priority, your ideal priority.
Exactly.
But as long as you're able to recognize a balance between work and play, I think that everybody does. You know this is fun, you know this is not fun. So you do non-fun activity, then you do a fun activity. I mean, I think that's how you can balance the two.
So since everybody is like quite worried about their immunity, so can you
Right.
suggest some exercises to boost it, and how important it is to exercise regularly?
See, it's important. Exercise can be of three types. One is strengthening, the other is endurance, and the third is stamina.
Yeah.
So, right now, your immunity, more than like you work out, that sort of brings endurance in your body, and it sort of helps you in so many ways. But even if you're doing a regular yoga or a regular workout, not going all muscular like I am, it's because it's not necessary for everybody to go through that. I think immunity mainly depends on the diet. Go on up on vitamin C. So what I do is, and I long time, and sort of helps in good, or you can have like a lemon with green tea in the morning, and that sort of helps you with a lot of things, like your digestive system, and mainly plays a lot of factor. Immunity is more of your diet than your exercise. I mean.
Okay. So we are already getting requests. There's a question: how to keep your mind positive in pandemic time? Do you want to answer?
Sorry, how to keep your mind positive
During pandemic time,
during the
COVID
cold?
phase. Yes.
Right. Um, See, positivity is something that you that you have to just believe in. Sometimes it takes more than the situation for you to feel positive. Sometimes it takes more than the people around you to feel positive. Positivity, more than being a thing, is a faith. You need to have faith. You need to find a silver lining in life. And even though my Instagram stories look all happy and everything, there are low points in our lives too. There are points when we're just like, oh, I can't just, let me just get done with this. I can't do it anymore. You're just crying with your mascara running. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's normal to feel that way. We're humans after all. But as long as you try to find a silver lining in every situation, even if the silver lining is as tiny as it is, you hold to it, and I think that will sort of, sail you through this whole situation. In cases, it will be okay eventually, and you will find your ways around it. Instead of thinking, right now, I personally believe in the fact that instead of thinking that everything's going to come back to normal, when it's going to come back to normal, one should sort of find ways to work around it, because it's a virus after all. Everything's so unpredictable. So instead of running back to the past because it's so familiar, we should find our own ways to sort of work around it, and then you'll find your positivity. Positivity is nothing but faith, I think, and that's what keeps you positive. A silver lining in any situation.
How,
Yeah.
when did you started working out regularly? Like you have been posting your videos since quite a long time. So when did you realize that exercise is very important, and when should one, like, we should teach children since beginning, I think, the exercise is important and all. So what do you have to say about that?
See, I'll tell you two things on this. I work out personally because I have to stay in a certain shape because I belong to the and I have to look a certain way. So that is also one reason that I work out. The other is health, of course. I want to lead a healthy life. Now, the because my work involves me to look a certain way is why I exercise so vigorously. Even if I do 50% of it, I still stay healthy. Now, this is one difference that we have to realize. I feel in today's time, girls are so conscious about their body. They're so body shamed. They're so fat shamed. They're just like, my thighs are big, my arms are big, you know. And to all those girls out there, I just want to tell you one thing that you're beautiful the way you are. You have to work out to stay healthy and fit and not to look a certain way. As long as you're working out to stay healthy and as long as you're working out to stay fit it's a certain way, then it's it's something that you have to overcome from within. No matter how much you work out, you'll always try finding flaws in yourself, and I think that is not healthy for your mental health. Coming back to the first clause where you have to work out, I think it's very important for us to also work out at an early stage because I remember I used to do yoga when I was a child. I'm flexible enough to sort of do certain sort of dance forms or to perform in a certain way. I am more flexible because I did yoga in the childhood, so my muscles are sort of built around it. And even if you don't want to get into an art line, or even if you want to sort of stay in a corporate world or however it is, working out will always keep you more healthy and keep you more stress free. Working out is not just your physical self, it's also your mental health. And the sooner you get into a habit of it, the more addicted you'll get to it. And there's nothing like getting addicted to going to the gym. Because I personally, during the whole quarantine, I just miss going to the gym the most, more than anything. And I think it's extremely important for you to work out since childhood so that you develop a habit. And it's all about developing habits. And it sort of takes 21 days for you to develop a habit. So right now, I think is the best time you have. Wake up early, write your to-do list, and start working out because these three things will sort of help you uh, very holistically. You will help you mentally and physically both.
Okay. So Charlene, I'm passing the camera to sister. Okay. I had a great
Okay.
time with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi, Charlene, once again.
Hi, sister. Hi, sister.
I must say, your tips to remain relaxed and it looks so easy. Everything, exercising is just cakewalk, you can say, according to you. Of course, I
Yes.
myself have been watching your exercises and playing with the little cat over there, and that even made me
Right.
relax. Yeah, so thanks so much. And I must say that Kamal will always remain grateful to you and your parents in a particular way. Please convey our regards and thanks to them. We
Oh,
will
sister,
always
I
remember
think
their loving.
I am super grateful to Kamal,
Yeah.
sister. Kamal has given me the most life inculcating facts and the most life inculcating morals, and it has made me who I am today. So I think I am more blessed and to be honest, to be a part of your celebrated alumni or however it is. I think it's more than an honor to sort of talk to the kid that I used to be at a point. So thank you so much for having me. I'm just more than happy and honored to be a part of Kamal family.
So am I. I'm overwhelmed to hear you and remember the moral values and those sisters who are no longer with us here and the staff who taught you, and to remember that you have been a value, living a value-based life which was taught to you long ago in school time. So that is something is all of us teachers.
I'm
So
sorry,
thank you
sister,
so
your
much for
voice
that.
is.
Yeah, it was nice speaking about our sisters and teachers who taught you.
Yes.
Hello, viewers. Good afternoon to everyone. It was nice having you here. I'm sure all of us have enjoyed this event along with our dear Shirley.
Hi, I'm sorry, your video is
Moment.
paused.
I know
Oh,
it is often
I can't
negative
hear you. I'm so
situation
sorry.
is
I can't
always.
hear you. Your video is also paused.
I'm saying the situation is always like that. You know the internet connection here. So I'm so sorry for that.
I know it's okay. It's extremely unfortunate though the situation people are going through in Jammu right now because the whole internet situation as well. But
So I would like to thank you, say something to our Carmelites.
thank you so much for having
Would
me.
you like to say
I
something to
had really
Carmelites?
good time here, and thank you so much, Sister Swati, for all the kind words. And thank you, my love, for being such a nice host. I had a wonderful time.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you for spending
Bye.
some time with. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.